Well, y'all, that's a wrap on the family mess, okay? But we got a lot to talk about with this episode in general, even though it's over. Or is it? We about to get into that thing right now. What's going on, Sky Squad? We are back in the building. Happy Monday, happy MLK Day, y'all. Make sure y'all go out and celebrate some type of way because we cannot let the legacy of this great man and his family, we cannot let it be lost on this generation. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to start off by saying that. Now, this finale was indeed a mess. And we're going to rate this episode. But before we do that, I want to get into some news, okay? If y'all with me, we're going to get into some news. And go on ahead and drop your location down in that chatterization because you know I like to see where you guys are watching from. And I do see Bahamas is in the building. I see y'all, baby. I see y'all. Happy MLK Day to y'all, too. Hey, boo. Come on, Tampa. I see you. Pittsburgh in the building. St. Croix, okay. Portland, Oregon, Virgin Islands, Detroit in the building. Stanford, Mississippi, Boston. Come on, baby. Come on, Boston. Los Angeles, Miami, baby. I miss Miami so much. NYC, Orlando, Louisville, Memphis, Buffalo, Philly. I see y'all. San Antonio, Mansfield. Come on now. Gary, South Africa, baby. Alabama, Pittsburgh, Zimbabwe. Hey. Listen, London is in the place to be. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today as we discuss this finale, or what looks to be like. It kind of gave me cliffhanger vibes, which leads me to believe that we might be getting a season 2 of this entire situation with Porsha right here. But we got to talk about what's going on in this particular episode that made it so crazy to me, okay? And we're going to discuss whether or not Porsha is the villain of her show, or is she the anti-hero of her show? Because she definitely is not the hero in this show, okay? We got to talk about it. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Now, for those of you guys who may not be as hip to the term anti-hero, what that sort of means is it's like a tragic hero. Someone who is maybe meant to be the hero of a story, but they are tragically flawed, and sometimes they don't always do the right things. Or is she just the villain of the show and just doing all the wrong things? Because I definitely don't think she's the hero in this situation. Okay? What is she to you guys? You know what I'm saying? Some people are saying she's both. I see a lot of that. A lot of both. Okay? I mean, it's very interesting to me because I cannot wait till we get to the discussion about her and that scene between her and Dennis at the end. Baby, let me tell you something. That was interesting. Dennis wants to take her to court, okay? But we're going to get into the logistics of why and how all that came about in just 1 second. Let me get into the news real quick, okay? Aunt Liz is definitely the hero, y'all. Let me tell you that. Simon. As you guys know, in last night's episode, Simon had a conversation with Aunt Liz, who we all love, and basically, it sounded like he was trying to check her, okay, about, the family showing Porsha the respect of being a member of the Hosea family. You know what I'm saying? And he said this to Aunt Liz. But when he hopped on social media, he making it seem like this conversation was taken out of context. So let's read what he had to say. He said, one of my favorite members of Porsha's family is Miss Elizabeth Omilami, fondly known as Aunt Liz. For those of you who do not know who Aunt Liz is, she is the late Hosea Williams' little sister. Porsha's father, who passed away in 1998. She is my adopted aunt because of her adopted Nigerian last name, Yoruba to be exact. She and I connected immediately on that level, and we have remained close ever since. She has been nothing but sweet and welcoming of me to the family. Then he says, I'm from a family that shows an abundance of respect to our elders. When we disrespect our elders, it is in my culture, it is tantamount to disrespecting our ancestors. Aunt Liz is an elder and a respectable one at that. It would be near impossible for me to disrespect her on any level given my upbringing. Today's episode depicting me having a conversation with Aunt Liz was unfortunately taken out of context. How, Sway? How? Anyway, he says, my comment was directed to all members of the family that Porsha is an integral part of the Hosea Williams family legacy, and Hosea Williams' granddaughter should be accorded some respect, given the sacrifices her grandfather and others like Aunt Liz have made to our community. I come from a place of culture. Respecting our family name is all I was attempting to point out. However, this point was depicted on television is wholly regrettable. Happy Sunday, and hope you were totally entertained. Sound like to me, Simon, what you needed to say was, you know what? I wholeheartedly apologize for coming at Aunt Liz in that way in last night's episode. Maybe it wasn't my intent to do so. I was just hoping for them to see that Porsha Williams is as an important part of this family as well. But even that to me was totally unnecessary, because we've already seen the scenes where Aunt Liz is wanting Porsha to live up to the legacy. Okay, so you, sir, who has been here for 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes, when you take it into the context of how long Porsha has been alive and been in this family, you've been around for like, at that point in time, it couldn't have been but a month or two, or however you want to put it. So for you to think you're gonna come up into this woman's family and have a conversation about somebody's legacy that you don't know name bit about, except for what you done heard, okay, and what you done maybe seen on TV and learned in a book or two, you cannot come over here and tell this woman to have some respect for her niece, who she is trying to educate about the how to live a non-violent lifestyle. How you gonna do that, sir? How? And y'all know I don't even get like this about stuff like that, but it just burned me up last night to see him have the gall to say that, as he was grinning like a Cheshire cat, baby. He was grinning like a Cheshire cat before he started into that little comment. And Aunt Liz, oh, baby, Aunt Liz has the grace of the saints, baby, because she just looked at him like, what? God bless you. God bless you, my child, because clearly you don't know about the legacy of this family, okay? So for you, again, who has been here for 5 minutes, to think that you're going to come up in here and talk about who is demanding respect for whom, get out of here. Get out of here. Respect your situation and get a divorce. Anyway, Rania says, the point of the show went down the drain. It did nothing to shed light on Porsha's work with Black Lives Matter. In fact, it disappointed us as her fans. Thank you so much for that super chat, Rania. I appreciate you. T-Ness says, preach, Richie. Love you too, boo. I mean, and thank you for that super chat. It just kind of burned me up. And y'all know I don't have no dislike for Simon. I don't. I mean, he seems to be like a man about his business, whatever that may be. He's got eyes on him. He's in front of the screen. He's on the television. You know what I'm saying? Mission accomplished. But at the end of the day, I just feel like we talk about elders all the time on this channel. So in my opinion, you don't ever come at nobody else's elders like that. You ain't even married into the family yet, bro. Victoria Williams says, for Porsha to be an activist, she did a great job at making her daughter Black father look like a statistic, which was embarrassing on her part. Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, I mean, that whole situation really bothered me. M. Morgan says, Liz is Hosea's daughter. He was out of pocket. Williams' family has a legacy of service in the city. What's Simon's family legacy? Ooh. And okay. I'm gonna tell you guys what this show reminded me of in a very different way. Okay, in a very different way. So please do not mistake what I'm about to say to you guys as I say it. Um, this situation reminded me of what we saw somewhat with Get Your Life on WeTV with Tamar's show. Um, we were thinking that the show was going to show us one thing, but the show completely showed us a whole different thing. And everybody coming out looking a little bit different than how we anticipated them to look. You know what I'm saying? We all looked at this show when we first saw the previews and we was thinking Porsha is going to be the hero of this show. She has not turned out to be the hero of this show. She's actually turned out to be rather cantankerous, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always the best of looks. She was stomping out of scenes, not wanting people to talk about things that were actually happening, but in the same breath, continuously talking about how the family continues to sweep things under the rug. Porsha, if this show has shown us nothing else, it has shown that you, in fact, are the person who also likes sweeping things under the rug. So you're really continuing that trend in the family. Nothing is being broken here. No shackles are being broken. All right. Cindy says, no one. Porsha, once you watch the show, it will make sense. Us watching, and it's not making any sense. Pretty much. Okay. It's not making no kind of sense to me. And Porsha does come across in this show as very controlling. Like, it seemed like she had one idea of a narrative that would be spun, but the reality that her family was basically showing and telling us was that, baby girl, this ain't really this is not how it actually is. Okay. And poor Londy, but we're going to get to it. Now we're going to do our rating of the episode on a scale of 1 to 10. Give me what you guys will rate this episode. 1 obviously being the worst, and then 10 obviously being the best. Okay. I'm going to give it a 9. Okay. The reason I'm going to give it a 9 is because I could have swore they deleted a whole scene with the assistants arguing. Okay. There was a scene that was out there that had been put out into the media. It was all over social media with Dom and with Lauren W., the new assistant. They was arguing, and it was at the restaurant. Porsha had the short hair, and it was Porsha, it was Lauren, and then Lauren W., the new assistant, and then Dom. And then they were having a conversation wherein Lauren W. and Dom were going at it so much to the point where Dom had to leave and walk out. Now, unless I missed it in last night's episode, and I could have swore I watched the entire thing, I didn't see that scene. So I wonder, why did they take that out? Unless it was like a bonus scene that nobody on social media labeled as bonus. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sugar and Pax Mama. Appreciate that. Now, did I miss that? Oh, somebody said they deleted 2 scenes. It was wild. I was like, what's happening here? Where'd it go? What happened? Because I'm clueless. Black Gale says, Bravo cut the last 2 episodes. They tired like we are of the foolishness. Ooh. Now that's some interesting information. Thank you so much for the super chat, front page image. Ebony M says Porsha's been calling shots, and that's why they cut the scene along with 2 episodes. Dang. I mean, I wonder. I gotta wonder what she's gonna do after this show. I really do, because again, I didn't feel like it made her look the best. We got some interesting moments. I felt like Dennis came in kind of with a checkmate at the end, and I don't think she was expecting or anticipating that. So what's the tea? What's going on here? What's going on? And then what's she gonna do now for the check? Okay, because you done quit all your jobs. I mean, she's probably still got a way to get back into the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but no more dish. You know what I'm saying? Then quit that. Why would you do that? I don't get it. I definitely wouldn't have quit my jobs. It's looking real murky. Real murky. But let's get into it. Now, Porsha, when we start off the episode, Porsha's in confessional. But she's being set up for her, as she's being set up for the confessional, the audio person is, either fixing the mic or working around her. And she got Dennis on the brain so much that she thinks the audio guy is Dennis. Now, I couldn't see the audio man all that well, but he ain't look like Dennis to me. And you can't run around here saying to me that you think every man in a tracksuit is Dennis. He is too much on your brain, girl, in my opinion. Too much on the brain. Now he got you seeing ghosts. You seeing his face on other people's faces. Okay? Don't make no sense. There seems to be some sort of preoccupation with Dennis and making him feel a certain type of way or something like that. Okay? But anyway, we go back as we begin the episode. We gets back and we see that scene where Dennis is dropping PJ off and she wants him to come in and chat. Okay? And he's like, I gotta go. I got a 5:00 meeting. I got to be out. Dennis in his confessional basically says Porsha never apologizes for anything. Porsha could step on his toe and keep on walking and still not apologize. And it's starting to feel like he's right. Because in none of these situations has this girl apologized to anybody. Okay? Now she's trying to coordinate with him for PJ's doctor surgery, okay? And he's like, okay, bye. Anyway, Lauren goes over to visit Aunt Liz. They're making signage for the Hosea Helps headquarters opening. And Aunt Liz is proud of what Lauren is trying to do to get the family together. Lauren feels like she failed, and I would have to say, yes, you did, okay? But I do feel like Lauren had the best of intentions, okay? I do. Aunt Liz feels like Mama Gina made an effort. Aunt Liz is very pro-Dennis and pro-Mama Gina. Lauren says that Dennis also made an effort, which is interesting. Aunt Liz wants to meet with Dennis to give him a chat that every black father needs to hear, that basically she believes in him, which I think is nice. Lauren wants her to call her baby daddy too, okay? Now, it's the day of PJ's surgery. No cameras are allowed into the hospital, but surgery did go well. We learned that the fight that happened down in Mexico was only a week prior to that, so they are still kind of fresh. And Porsha and Dennis both lament because they just focused on PJ's surgery, even though they had to spend time together. Now, Aunt Liz FaceTimes Dennis while he's at the hospital, and she tells him that he is a good black father, okay? And she invites him to breakfast. She doesn't blame him for anything. And interestingly enough, oh yes, I don't think she cares for Miss Diane at all. Interestingly enough, she does not blame Dennis for the fight. She says that she saw him trying to leave a situation that he was not able to leave. Okay. And Dennis is going to take her up on the invite, and she has faith in people, and she believes that because she does have faith in people, they will reciprocate it. I just have to tell you, I love me some Aunt Liz. This show needed Aunt Liz. They needed a ray of sunshine amongst the murk, okay? Amongst the murk and the mire. And thank God Aunt Liz was there. Now, Porsha is meeting with Londy. Oh, Lord, y'all, this conversation, I did not see it going the way that it went. And all I got to say is poor Londy did not deserve what happened to her here. Okay. She didn't deserve it. Okay. Now, I've not known how I felt about Londy. I mean, I've liked her personality because she seems very tell it like it is. She seems very strong. But interestingly, in this conversation, we saw a much more vulnerable side of Londy. And my heart went out for her. It really did. I'm going to get to it. So they meet up. Londy wants to know why Porsha had her fired from working with Dennis. First of all, again, I think it's too many familial connections with everybody working for this person and that person. And before you hire a member of your family to do something, this is just a message from me to you. Make sure that they are qualified to do the job that you are hiring to do. Everybody is not qualified to be an assistant. And this is no knock against Londy. That just may not be her calling, okay? And so I feel like they should stop trying to, I know you want to help your family, but everybody is not suited for every single role that you need filled. Sometimes you got to hire outside the family in order to get the job done, okay? I had to say that. Londy apologizes for stealing the robe. She's prepared to give it back. She actually got it in her book bag, and she apologizes for actually taking it in the first place. So then they get into Storm getting involved in everything, and Londy says she sees Porsha not trying to see her side in anything. And Porsha says it's because Storm was the closest person to her. So what you're telling me is this. You just took a side because the person was sitting next to you. Not because they was right or they was wrong. It was just because she was sitting next to me. She was closer to me than you were, girl. That's why I took the side. Were you afraid she was going to reach out and tap you on the face if you didn't agree with her? That makes no sense. And Londy basically calls it out in her confessional. She says that Porsha is good at playing stupid because she says that right there was stupid. Now, Londy says she thinks Porsha makes excuses for Storm. And Porsha says that she's just as close with Storm as she is with Londy. Now, that ain't the way it looked, okay? That is not the way it looked. Now, Londy thinks Porsha is not really hearing her and that Porsha is only listening to respond and not really listening for comprehension, right? Because there's two different things. If sometimes you're in an argument, you know what I'm saying, and you feel like you got a whole lot that you on the defense, you're not going to be listening to comprehend, to hear, and to heal. You are listening to defend, okay? And that's basically what she says Porsha is doing. Now, Londy brings up that Dennis says Porsha was the one who wanted her fired. Now, Porsha says, I don't remember that. Convenient. So what Porsha does is she uses a different tactic now. She says, versus being on the defense, she says this. She switches it, and she makes herself the victim. She says this. Well, how it sounds to me like you are letting him tell you things that are bad about me when I'm your family, and you should not even be worried about what somebody outside the family is saying about me because they are not blood. We are blood, girl. But you had her working for him. So why wouldn't she listen? Okay? That doesn't make any sense to me. So then Porsha says Dennis is just doing everything to tear their family apart. And I had to write LOL right here because that seems to be his objective. This man has all the time in the world to plot and plan to destroy the Williams family. Oh no. That's why you invited him to be a part of this show, so he could destroy the family even more. Oh no. Lord have mercy. Londy tells her, well, Storm and Dom kind of look like they believed it as well. So we then learn that Porsha also fired Londy because she packed the bags wrong. Okay, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Everybody ain't meant for every role. You can't just hire cousin Larry to be your business manager when cousin Larry obviously may not have any type of mathematical skill. Okay, cousin Larry probably can't even use a calculator. Okay, but you gonna hire cousin Larry because he your cousin? No. Okay. And this is no disrespect to Londy. I'm not saying that she's not a good packer, but clearly she left out the baby oil, and the baby oil seeped onto Porsha's Chanel purse, and Porsha won't having it. Now, I might have been mad about that too. Okay. I just got to be real about it. Okay. Chanel costs. It costs a penny, a pretty penny. Okay. So if you get the baby oil, and you know, honestly, if that baby oil was leaking, it leaked on everything. Okay. And baby oil ain't nothing. It's hard to get out. Nothing worse than a greasy stain. Okay. Anyway, so Porsha randomly pulls out this idea that, okay, but you're my cousin and you weren't there for me when I was in an abusive relationship. Londy's like, I was in college. What did you want me to do? And that's when Porsha then says, see, that's what I'm talking about. You wasn't trying to be around me, and I wasn't trying to be around you. At this point, I think Porsha is just grasping at straws. Because I'm like, to me, maybe I don't know the family history all that well, but I don't know what she thought that was going to do. Okay. Was she trying to guilt Londy into something, or into like, you weren't there for me when I was going through my abuse? What is a college student supposed to do about the abuse that you are going through, and you are the older cousin? What would you have had her do? Quit school and come back and be with you? No. I mean, I don't know what she's supposed to do. In college, I don't even think I had the mental tools. I was not equipped with the mental tools to be able to really tell somebody in an abusive situation what to do outside of dump him, leave him, run away. What else was she supposed to do in that situation? She was in college. You barely know what you want to do when you get out of school. Half the time you're in college and you done made some bad decisions about your major and you're going to regret it later. So what do you expect me to tell you about when I'm in college and you older than me and you in the relationship? I don't get it. I ain't understand it. M. Morgan says the lambskin Chanel was on the table. Luxury is not easily destroyed, can be cleaned and used in a shot while discussing the damage. Oh Lord, y'all be so observant. I love it. Meanwhile, okay, at this point, Porsha has run out of straws to grasp. Okay, so she pulls the only card that she has in her tool belt. She gets up from the table, she storms off. And this time she is storming off and she is confronting another producer. It could have been the main producer from last time, who was trying to tell her family is important. You need to work through this. It will never be solved if you keep running away from the scenes. And her thing is, I am so tired of my family trying to tell me that I have not been there for them when they have not been there for me. Now, in transparency, I have been in this situation before. If you have a family member that comes to you and they tell you that they feel like you haven't been there for them, whether you want to hear it or not, That's your family. So Londy was coming to her in a way that was not aggressive. It was very calm. She did not raise her voice. She respectfully disagreed when necessary. And she was very honest, and probably even more delicately so than she normally is. So it seems to me that whenever the narrative on this show does not go the way that Porsha intends for it to go, she gets angry, she gets upset, she refuses to film, and she runs off. That, to me, while it makes for interesting drama for us to watch, it is actually quite disturbing. Okay, I was disturbed in this moment because what was left at the table was Londy to sit there hearing this conversation. Okay, thinking to herself, I'm sure, maybe I should not have been honest about what I was saying. I have now angered this person who is, I'm sure, providing a paycheck in this. And I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But this is what I might be thinking. Like, I have now angered the boss. Okay. And now she has stormed out, and I don't know what I'm going to be left with. Not to mention their family still. So Portia's back there cussing and a fussing, and Londy is sitting there with a camera still in her face. Do y'all know how embarrassing that probably is to be sitting in a restaurant with a camera in your face after somebody that stormed off and they're yelling backstage, behind the scenes about you? And so she breaks down in tears. So then Porsha comes back, and Porsha says, I'm not mad, girl. What? What do you mean you weren't mad? You were just literally out of the shot of the camera screaming at a producer because Londy was honest with you. You might not like what you heard, but it's an opportunity to grow. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because that's what the point of the show was supposed to be, I thought. So then she basically tells her, let's just move forward. Thank you for being transparent. But Londy in her confessional is like, I wish that I had never gone to this lunch. I wish that I had never done that. I wish I had never said anything. I almost wish that she hadn't either. But I'm actually glad that she did, because hopefully one day in retrospect, Porsha will watch that scene back. Probably won't. Okay. She probably won't. But I think the problem with Porsha is, and I think that Aunt Liz kind of hit it the nail on the head, is that Porsha has a lot of yes people around her. And when you attempt to tell Porsha about herself, she will shut the situation down and she will ice you out. And unfortunately, we're seeing a side of someone who we had really a lot of us have really loved, and we're just kind of now shaking our heads like, wait a minute. Some of the things that your cast members have said about you, they seem kind of true. Meanwhile, Aunt Liz meets with Dennis. PJ is doing well. We learn Aunt Liz wants to know how it felt being around Porsha at the hospital. He says that he and Porsha need to talk more and that PJ is what's important. Dennis is more worried about Porsha and Mama Gina, because Mama Gina has been sad since the trip ended and she's taken aback by the whole trip. At some point, we did learn, I think, that Dennis did apologize for the altercation in Mexico, but Porsha did not. Okay. We learned that when a producer asks her, after she talks to Miss Diane about, the surgery, Porsha then let us know that Dennis apologized for what happened in Mexico. And that's when the producer asked if she apologized, and she said no. But more importantly, at this point in time, PJ is not eating again because she still is having issues with her tonsils being taken out. I want to address a couple of super chats that I think I might have missed, or at least one. I think it was just the one. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, Jasmine says, I'm highly disappointed in Porsha. I used to be a huge fan of hers, not so much anymore. I understand. Understand. Thank you for that super chat, boo. Um, Porsha then has the Laurens over with a chef to help her prepare a Nigerian dinner. We learned that they're only making meat pies, so she's gonna have to Uber Eats the rest. Simon then arrives, and the producer asks Porsha if she feels bad for taking credit for the food. She says no, because it was good. Okay. At this point, he announces that he is officially divorced from Fallon. Now, Porsha mentions that Simon filed for divorce, and I'm sure she was very purposeful in her words here that Simon filed for divorce in February. She's now ready to move into their new house so they can start planning for a wedding. And he says that if he could have done it again, he would have done it the same way. Would you? We have a super chat here from Santane who says Porsha isn't going to realize anything until she hits rock bottom and Simon is gone. She just better hope those very people she's wronging will be there to catch her. Very good point, Santane. Very good point. Thank you. Okay, so it's now 4 months later. Oh, no. Before we get there, it's the day of the Hosea Helps. Okay. Porsha has sent a video to Aunt Liz, a tearful video telling her that PJ is on the way to the hospital because she's dehydrated. So Aunt Liz suggested that Simon come to the Hosea Helps event instead of Porsha. They do a ribbon cutting. It's a really nice event. It was really nice to see the spotlight through Aunt Liz being placed on, activism and the things that we actually thought that this show was going to cover. Aunt Liz and Simon chat, and she says that she's thankful that Simon allowed Dennis to be who he is as a co-parent. Simon is then smiling like a Cheshire cat as usual, and he says he'll do anything to protect their co-parenting relationship. He then goes on to compliment the Hosea Williams family tree and that he's letting Porsha know that she is Hosea's granddaughter and that the family needs to show some respect and start treating Hosea's granddaughter better. And in her confessional, Aunt Liz is like, what? How? I can only imagine how incensed and how furious she was on the inside. But in person, okay, she says, okay, Simon, God bless you. Because honestly, it was not going to behoove her to get into an altercation with Simon, who is going to be marrying into the family while they are at the Hosea Helps Foundation event. It was not going, Aunt Liz is wise enough to know when to pick and choose her battles. It was disrespectful of him to say that to her, but she knows it was disrespectful, but she's not going to address it right then and there because she has the class and the wisdom to know when to fight a battle. And I admire and respect that about her so much, okay? So much. All she said was, God bless you. Please bless him, Lord, okay? Meanwhile, it's 4 months later. We get a note from production that Porsha and Dennis continue to work on their co-parenting relationships, but unfortunately, they have not been able to come to a mutually agreed upon co-parenting plan. Let's discuss a co-parenting plan for a second, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, and I did not notice until the end, what Porsha wants in a co-parenting plan sounds to be like some sort of written out schedule that she and I guess Dennis can agree to with regards to baby PJ. Now, it sounds as though PJ spends more of her time with Porsha, and that is the way that Porsha prefers it. So it almost feels to me like Porsha was hoping to sort of dictate what that plan would look like. Okay, so let's just state that. Now, she apparently is going to be meeting with Dennis because Dennis has called a meeting to really get into the details about what they need to be doing moving forward. He does get her chair this time. Okay, when she arrives, he does pull out her chair and he mentions that the fur that she has on looks familiar. Well, she says that the fur is from a gift from Simon from her press tour. So at that point, he asks how the engagement is going. And I noticed that Porsha seems very, very prickly in this conversation. It almost felt like she had, I don't really know. I can't really put it into words, but she came into this conversation real like on some like, I mean, I'm the ish type thing. You know what I'm saying? She seemed real cocky in the way that she came into the conversation. Now, she had made a post, if you guys will recall, about this scene in general from before, where she had talked about how, apparently, some things had gone down in a scene and some things that Dennis had said to her that really put, a fire under her with regards to him. So when he asks how the engagement is going, she's prickly and she says that they have closed on the house. He then asks her, well, did you get a prenup? And she says, that's none of your business, Gina. Now, see, at this point, and that's when I realized, oh, Porsha's on one today. She is literally on one today. AH says Porsha was not willing to give Dennis her address where PJ will be living and the name of the school PJ would attend. They need a legal agreement. Boom. Very good facts right there, AH. Very good facts. Okay. So the conversation is very awkward and she's trying to move away. She says that she's trying to move away from any emotional ties that they have had in the past. So then they discuss her moving into the city and thinking about PJ's schools. But he feels very disconnected from this conversation because the conversations that she's having and the topic is about her going to schools, but he doesn't know A, where she lives, okay? And then B, she was making the conversation about the schools seem as though they were conversations that she was having maybe with Simon and not with him, because he didn't know nothing about any of this. So this is sending off alarm bells in his head like, wait a minute, you making decisions about when my child is going to school. Well, our child is going to school and you're making these decisions without me, okay? So I don't know whether or not Dennis came into the conversation. Actually, I think that he probably did come into this conversation with the idea that he wanted to take her to court for joint custody and an official agreement about how they would co-parent to be decided and determined by a judge, okay? Because he even alludes to the fact that he had sent her some paperwork already. So he already knew what he was about to do, okay? She just ain't know because she been too busy to check the mail, all right? Anyway, apparently he's been having to remind her that PJ is 50% his kid. She says she's moved on from trying to have a blended family and is accepting where they are now. And she's just moved on to thinking about him like a brother. Porsha, what in the brother loving mess is that? I mean, I get it. You are looking at having a more a distant type of relationship from this man, but to try to say that you have went from looking at this man as your lover to a brother, it's ludicrous to me. I understand what she's trying to say, but sometimes she just don't say the right things. A brother lover. What? Anyway, she has to remind him that she wanted Dennis and his mom to be a blended family with her family. And now she just wants him to be her dad and get things in black and white. So this is where Dennis says he sent her some papers this week because he wants things in black and white as well. He's like, let's let a judge decide what's black and white. Brand new TJ says she will get a second season because of the weddings. The storylines need to be on point and redo the cast in order for people to care. Too many yes people. Thank you for that super chat. And then Camilla Westbrook says Porsha has never wanted a blended family. She wanted a show about a blended family. Bloop. Ooh, very good observation right there. I don't think Porsha was ready for this conversation. I think she went in feeling cocky, like she held most of the cards. And here's the thing about that. I do agree with Aunt Liz in the sense that it should be celebrated that he is trying to do the right things by his child. Okay. I will say that. I don't believe that he wanted to try to take her from Porsha. I just think that he wanted some clear cut guidelines that they both can follow so that he can feel included on the decisions with regards to his daughter. That's how it came across to me. And it seemed like maybe unofficially he was trying to continue along that path until some things may have changed. And now this is his only recourse, is to get some type of judge to really give them what their parameters are going to be to co-parent moving forward. She basically was like, whoa, we don't need a judge. I just wanted a calendar. Okay. I wanted a calendar of events. But his thing to her was, well, you might just pack up and go to London in the middle of the night. And that's when she gets real upset. And she tells him, well, you don't even pay for nothing but her school. Okay. Now, I do not know what the stipulations are and how they were co-parenting and what they agreed to amongst each other financially. But what I will say is this. If she feels like he's not doing right in terms of the payments, it may be good for her to take him to court as well. How about, because to me, it's like this. If you feel like you're not getting the financial assistance that you need to take care of your child, ladies, do not feel like you are obligated to spare the young man in question by not taking him to court and getting what you need for your child. That the child's welfare is the most important thing. Don't feel like I don't want to take a brother to court. No, take him to court, get what you need for your child, okay? Because if that's what you feel in Porsha, then you might want to take him to court. Okay. But she don't want the court involved because I feel like Porsha wants to dictate the terms. You see what I'm saying? Because Porsha, as we have seen, likes to have the control in these situations. And I feel like he has just had enough. He's had enough. That's the way it came across in the scene. Nicole says, it hurts me to say this, but Kenya was right about her. Ooh. And now, ooh. Thank you for that super chat. So they continue to go down the rabbit hole, going back and forth with each other. They get real kind of crunk with each other at this point. And he basically tells her that she's looking stupid and people know she looks stupid and that everybody knows that she is a liar. He goes all the way in, okay? Now, Porsha believes that he invited her there to pull a trump card, and she says it was an epic fail, okay? Now, I don't know if it was an epic fail or not. But what I do know is he definitely put her on notice. And she was not ready for that one, which now explains why she made that statement on social media in advance of this episode, because she knew what was coming. Do I think that Porsha is a good mother? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that I think she is probably doing the best that she can. I think she loves her daughter. I think that she is a good mother. But I also think that she likes having control of the narrative on the show and of situations that she's involved in. I mean, and as such, she knew that she needed to get out in front of the story to do damage control before the episode actually hit. Now, I don't think, in my mind, it sounded like what Dennis was asking for was joint custody. I could have swore I heard him say that. Boom. Audrey, you hit the nail on the head. Porsha and Dennis they seem like great parents, just not a great couple. And maybe it would be better for a judge to decide, hey, these are the plans that you guys can have in place, because the judge can then decide what to do for the best interest of the child. If they can't seem to get it together on their own, then, again, have a third party to decide. Okay? Yeah, you guys heard the same thing then. Okay. I thought I saw a super chat. Okay, it was 2. Shanta Scruggs says she's going to have a hard time with her control issues when the real Simon kicks in. It's in his nature and culture to be the one in control. This ain't going to end well for her. Shaking my head. Thank you so much, Shanta. Or is it Shante? Candace F says Porsha knows that Dennis takes care of their daughter. They both have money, and he needs to file for joint legal and physical custody. Thank you for that super chat. Angie says Porsha wanted Google Docs. Oh, God. Angie says Porsha wanted Google Docs. Dennis wanted court docs. Ain't much more to be said after that, Angie. I mean, it is. I mean, that took me out of here. Okay. AH says Porsha and Dennis seem to be co-parenting well by her own admissions until she got engaged to Simon. Maybe that's the case. Court docs. Oh, Lord. Anyway, y'all, are y'all looking forward to season 2? Will you be watching season 2, or will we get a season 2? Comment down below. Do you think we're going to get a season 2 of this show, or do you think she's going to have to go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta? Honestly, I would think if I was her, this is what I would do. I don't know. You can't go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta this coming year, okay? You just go ahead and take this year off, right? Because they probably a third of the way, 2/3 of the way finished through filming season 14. Go on ahead and just take some time off, girl. Get yourself together. Get an understanding of your life. Go on some personal retreats. You know what I'm saying? Go find yourself. Find some wisdom. Do some more activism type activities. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe for season 16, okay, I would take off 2 seasons from Atlanta. Give yourself some time to grow. give people time to get over the things that they have seen on this show. And then I would say season 16, go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, if you need to. And then, carry on from there. But I would say in the next, I would just go ahead and say take some time off from reality TV. Okay. Take some time off from reality TV. Get things right so you and Dennis can co-parent and do the right things by, PJ, like I know y'all both want to, and focus on that. Oh, Cindy says season 2 belongs on Zeus Network, not Bravo. Listen, I like Zeus. Now I don't have a subscription to it, but I like what they doing over there. It's a shame. I thought that this was going to be just everything, but it was not. Okay. Now, with that being said, y'all, I just got a message from Adam. Hold on for 1 second. And we are going to go live at 1:30 today to discuss the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay. Last night's episode, another wild one. Okay. A whole nother wild one. So hopefully you guys can join us at 1:30 for that. We got to talk about some craziness that's going on. And that's it, y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in and rocking with us as we went through Porsha's family mess. That wraps up the season, maybe forever. Okay. We'll just have to wait and see if they do a season 2. Who knows? If they do, we'll be back for it. And if not, sayonara. Okay. And I'm gonna catch y'all at 1:30. All right. Love y'all.